guys. PLL is finally back. Like, is this real life? Because I waited for so long. Alright, I thought this episode was really exciting, so let's just get right on into it because there was so much stuff happening and that makes me happy. So we start with 3 months after Mona's murder and we're at a funeral with nobody. So yep, an empty casket. Well, not really empty because her mom, I think, put some stuffed animals and some mementos in her retainer. That's kind of weird, but whatever, in there. So there's a lot of drama at this funeral, though, because silly Allie decides to show up, and she actually has the nerve to go up to Mona's mom, and she's like, oh, hey, Mrs. Mona's mom, Mrs. Vanderwall. She's like, I just want to let you know that I am not guilty here. And then Mona's mom did like the most incredible thing ever, and she freaking slapped Allie, and I laughed, and I think that you probably did too, because it was funny. So, Mona's mom obviously is distraught by her daughter's death, and especially because no one knows where the heck Mona's body is. Where do you think Mona's body is? Because I'm really not that sure, and I'm not sure why it really hasn't turned up yet. I think it's in the water somewhere, but I could be wrong. So Bethany's parents have petitioned to have Spencer's bail revoked, and her dad is worried that it might work, and Spencer is freaking because she's been out for a while and she doesn't want to go back to jail because we all know that Spencer did not murder Bethany. And police tell Officer Toby Kavanaugh, that Mrs. D told them that Spencer was in the backyard the night of Bethany's murder, so Mrs. D is pretty much throwing Spencer under the bus here, saying, yeah, that's the person who killed Bethany. The funny thing is, this had happened like 2 years ago because obviously Mrs. D is dead, but we never knew because Wilden kept that thing secret, which Wilden is shady. I'm sorry, Wilden was shady. R.I.P. Wilden. Maybe not R.I.P. Wilden. He kind of drove me crazy. It looks like Paige is for reals leaving for Kellie, and I just don't care. Do you care? Because I don't. Hannah suggests that Mrs. Grunwald, I think it's Grunwald, can help them find out some info, like, where is Mona's body? Because that's like the biggest question we have from this episode, other than who was A, which we always have that question. But Caleb is not feeling it because we all know he's gotten some bad mojo from over in Ravenswood, and he just does not want to talk about that topic anymore. So I was feeling kind of bad for Aria because she got rejected from Oberlin College, and that was like one of her safe, like for sure schools, or at least she thought. But Allie's being all shady. She comes up behind her and she's like trying to read the letter, and she freaks out and she was like, Allie, you are A, which was such a funny moment. And Allie looks at her like she has like 5 heads. And the coolest part was she has like a whistle and she blows the whistle like, what is up with that? But it worked because Allie ran off. I thought that whistle thing was just kind of cool and funny. Spencer is totally freaking out in Spencer fashion about going back to jail, which is not surprising. And Mike is having a super hard time processing Mona's death, and Ezra is trying to talk to him about it, and Ezra is honestly being pretty annoying because Mike does not want to talk about his girlfriend's death. He is just totally stressed out. So Hannah goes ahead, even though Caleb was not feeling it, she goes on and meets with Grunwald to see if she can help her find Mona's body. They're meeting up in that mausoleum where the empty, not so empty casket of Mona's is. Well, I gotta throw this in here because Jason is not always in a lot of the episodes, but how good was he looking in that cute baseball tee? Team Jason, well, at least for today. So Spencer is trying to get answers about Allie from Jason. She's really grilling him here because she wants to know, like, was Allie with them when Mona was murdered? Was she with them all of Thanksgiving Day? In the meantime, Emily's also like snooping around in the house, and she steals Allie's hairbrush because she wants to plant that evidence at Mona's house. And Spencer's like, you know, Em, that's not really a good idea because you are actually committing like an actual for real crime. Jason starts to grill Allie now because he knows the truth here, and he knows that she actually left during the time Mona was murdered, so she's looking super suspicious here. And he was like, where did you go on Thanksgiving? But Allie claims that she's being framed, and once again she's sticking to her alibi, or sticking to her story that she did not kill Mona. So we still have this mysterious computer of Mona's. I mean, it's not a mysterious computer, but the contents are mysterious, and Caleb is still trying to hack it, and she has it like so protected that even like super hacker Caleb cannot get into it. I think the best line from the whole episode was when Arya was like asking Caleb about hacking, and he was like, why are you applying for anonymous? If you know what that means, post it down below. So we all want to know, like, is A actually stopping Arya from getting admitted into college, or is she just being paranoid? What do you think about that? But because of this, she wants to know if Caleb can hack into the college site to see, like, if someone has screwed with her and, like, is making all these colleges reject her. But he's like, no, girl, I'm going to teach you how to do this yourself. So we're going to have another little hacker on our hands. So Em and Spencer are going to go through this plan of planting the hair at Mona's death scene, aka Mona's house. And they find something even better, so they don't have to go through with the plan. They realize that there are cameras planted around Mona's house, and one of them happened to be in the area where they could totally see some of the stuff going on that led to Mona's murder. So this is like jackpot for them. Meanwhile, Arya gets a text from Mike, and he wants her to pick him up from that little place that they were renovating. And it was actually a setup, because when she tries to call Mike because he's not responding, she turns around and there is him or her. A is there in a black hoodie. Shocker. And she freaks out and she runs, and she totally thinks this is Allie, and we all totally know that it is not Allie. And this person steals Mona's computer and like staples Arya without hurting her to the wall. And it feels like it's a guy to me. I just feel like there's so many people on the A team. I don't think it's just like one or two people. So, good news for Spencer and company. Police do get that video from Mona's house. You can see someone with very long blonde hair or a very long blonde wig dragging Mona, and they automatically assume that it is Allie. But Jason makes it even easier for them when he tells them the actual truth, that guess what, police officers and detectives, Allie was actually not with us during Mona's murder. Like, she left during that time. So, yeah, Allie is just not looking good for Allie. So she's trying to run away because she knows she's in some freaking hot water, but she's actually stopped by all the girls who push her back, which was pretty funny considering how much Allie has pushed them around. And she's like, no guys, I promise I didn't kill Mona, and if you guys don't help me, then A is totally going to stalk you and make your life crazy, and you guys are next. And they're like, whatever. But Allie, honestly, gonna have to be real here. I believe you this time. I don't think you killed Mona. You probably didn't kill Bethany either, and you aren't A. So Allie is finally arrested at that time for the murder of Mona, and now the real murderer and the A team is running wild so they can stalk and harass the girls as usual. So guys, Paige is gone for reals, and even though Em like rushes to the airport, even buys a ticket to fly somewhere that she's not going to fly, to like try to beg her to change her mind, Paige is not budging. She's moving to Cali, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it, and I didn't cry, and I don't care, and please can we move on? I hope she doesn't come back. I'm sorry. That is kind of mean, but I guess sorry, not sorry. Good news for Spencer is, though, that not only do detectives think that Allie killed Mona, they're also pinning Bethany's murder on Allie as well. So Spencer is a free woman, and she's pretty happy about that. So we think that everything's going to be okay. Well, no, we don't think that, but the girls think that. They think, hey, Allie is in jail. We're all going to be fine now. And they see some fireworks at the end of this episode. And to no one's surprise except for theirs, there's a giant red A firework. So then they realize that, oh my gosh, Allie may not actually be A, and someone else is A, and A is probably loving this because we put Allie in prison, and maybe Allie was actually helping us. So it's crazy. It's totally crazy. So let me tell you some thoughts from this episode of mine. As you already know, I'm really glad that Paige is gone. Allie can't be A. I don't think she killed either girl, which I've told you. I still think an adult, like someone's parent, like an actual adult, not someone in their 20s, like older. Totally think some adults are involved in the A team. They just have to be, with the fireworks and all the alcohol and blah, blah, blah. And they just have to be. There's too many like crazy things going on for some adults or many adults not to be involved. And I'm wondering, like, when are they going to find Mona's body? I'm totally wondering where her body is. When's that going to happen? I think that will happen pretty soon. And I feel really bad for Mike. I mean, his sobbing like, broke my heart. Like, you really, really love Mona. So if you are new to my channel or if you've been here before, then you know that every week I pick a subscriber of the week based on your comments. So please leave me comments like answering my questions or giving me your theories, and I'm going to pick out my favorite, which is really hard because you guys have awesome comments. But I will feature you. I will show your comment in my next video next week because I love reading all your comments. I reply to all of them. Make sure you thumbs up and subscribe if you're a PLL fan because I review and give theories on every single episode, so you don't want to miss out. Thank you so much again for watching this episode of Kellie TV, and I will see you next time.